My name is Ann Brazeau. I'm the CEO and founder of MPN Advocacy and Education International. I've been in this space, however, for 20 years. Prior to this, I was with the MPN Research Foundation for almost 9 years. And we are celebrating our 11th year with MPN Advocacy. And I'm very proud of the work that usually 2 people do in this space at our organization. We now have 3, which is a miracle. And so we've been able to do many different things. We are not a research organization. We are an advocacy and education organization. However, I have done extraordinarily lots and lots of reading and lots of talking to different patients. And one cohort of patients were Vietnam vets, vets from the Gulf War, vets from, believe it or not, the Korean War. And there are still about 1 million Vietnam vets still alive in this country. And we partnered with Dr. Andrew Tu, Dr. Craig Kessler from Georgetown University, and Dr. Jane from the Veterans Administration. We've been working with them for years, trying to get MPNs on the presumptive list so these veterans can get benefits for their MPN care. Well, we finally got a paper published and proof that Agent Orange and exposure to toxins during wartime can cause an MPN. So we're really, really proud. And again, we don't do a lot of research, but that was one research project we did, and we're extremely proud of that. And the article is in the American, whoops, I lost that. I'll send it to you. There's a link, and that I'll send. We've been working, I've known Dr. Ruben Massa for a long time. And when he was in Rochester at the Mayo Clinic, he's moved around a little bit, but we are very proud of his accomplishments, obviously. And the one thing that I love about Dr. Massa, which there are many, the list is very long, but the fact that he is always willing, when he can, to speak at these events. If I send him an email and say, can you please help with the patient, he is always eager to help or direct us to the correct person to help. He's like a little brother to me, and he's a great physician, an MPN doc, and he is, if you see him, he's a wonderful, wonderful physician. And so, let's see. Who we are and what we provide to the MPN community, scientific and clinical trial updates, and you'll hear from Dr. Massa. You were going to hear from Dr. Laura Michaels about clinical trials and how to get involved. She is unable to join us today, but Dr. Massa will be presenting on that topic. We do a lot of MPN focus groups, so if there are cohorts of patients that we want to glean information from, we will send information out and bring those patients together, either online or in person, and find out what is happening in their world and what we need to do to help them. And we do quite a few throughout the year. We have a monthly newsletter. I hope all of you are signed up for that because there's always interesting information and updates in that. We have tons of MPN resources. If we cannot provide something for you, we will send you to the correct place to get whatever you need. And our MPN advocacy initiatives, I just told you about the Vietnam vets, but we also started a program specifically for women, not to ignore the men, but women do have different issues than men, and we are about to host our 10th annual Women in MPN program in New York City in September. If you are interested, let us know, and we'll make sure that you get that information. And MPN education is what we're all about, and that is why we're here today, and we're so glad to see all of you. We've never been to the Carolinas, so Dr. Massa was gracious enough to invite us, and I can't, it takes my breath away. It's beautiful. I haven't seen a ghost yet in this building, but I had my TV on all night and my bathroom light on, and but I did see a mama bear with 2 cubs, which was just meandering around and walking around, and that was interesting, very interesting. We do have an MPN patient support group network. We're always here to help. We host the patient support group in Michigan. Michigan's like 2 states. I think we have over 250 patients in Michigan that we are in contact with for the support groups. But if you're interested in a support group, let us know, and we will help you either form one or connect with patients in your area. And our goals and commitments are the same. They've never changed, and that is we are committed to assisting, directing, and informing our constituents on pertinent issues that impact quality care, treatment access, current research and clinical trials, as mentioned, and advocacy, and provide resources. I don't know why that other page is showing. And so we do 12 to 15 webinars per year. We try to do 3 in-person events, and we will probably be back in the Carolinas next year with Dr. Massa again, but maybe in a different part of the Carolinas where we'll talk about that. And then we have a patient advisory council, and I have to point out one gentleman in this room, and I always say, where's Buzz? You know the book, where's Waldo? Buzz comes to probably 95% of our events. Buzz is in our patient advisory council, and he's a great member. Thank you, Buzz. You're cool. And let's see. We also host roundtables, so we will have a physician or just patients in a roundtable to discuss certain issues that are pertinent in the MPN community. And we do these quite often throughout the year. So if you're interested in joining one of those, let us know. And I already talked about the focus groups and our initiatives. I believe I have mentioned all of them. Oh, we do have a pediatric and young adult program as well. We started to see an influx of parents and young pediatric, young children, parents calling us with children that had an MPN. And we actually had a focus group with young adults who are going through issues with work and trying to decide if they want to raise a family with an MPN. And there are just so many issues and things to talk about, challenges that MPN patients have. And then I don't know if you all are interested in knowing about this, but you should be. PDABs are a new group that are forming across the country. Usually the governors of each state are looking at the costs of drugs and how they are affecting rare diseases, but other diseases as well. And so Natalie, our president, has kind of taken off with this, and we'll keep you informed and apprised of what's happening in that area. But there are groups that are forming probably in your area, and they bring patients in, they bring government officials in, legislators, and so on, to discuss how to mitigate the cost of drugs, and so that everybody has them available to them. And then a couple years ago, and our wonderful videographer, Daryl, who's sitting back there, he's always so quiet and wonderful. He just sits back there and videotapes everything. But we are doing a series on healthy food that promotes blood flow. So we're calling it Go With The Flow. There are 3 recipes that have been out there a while, but in a couple months we'll be doing more. That's about it. As I mentioned, our upcoming event for women, the 10th annual event, will be in New York City on the 27th. Dr. Jennifer Ashton will be joining us this time. Jane Fonda was with us last year. That was a trip. And we have these lovely, wonderfully intelligent and with it female scientists speaking at this event. So if you're able to join us, please do. Oops, that's the Go With The Flow. And interestingly, I have to go back. I went to a lecture a couple weeks ago with a gentleman who's a professor at Michigan State University, which is right by my residence. He is a scientist and a pastor, and the discussion was centered around science versus God, or science and God. And this is a quote from his presentation that it just struck me, and so I'm sharing it. If intellectual humility is essentially a willingness to admit what you do not and cannot know, Science cultivates humility like few other pursuits can. I just thought that was a really lovely quote.